Good morning and happy Sunday. So it looks like we're finally on the other side of this eclipse and full moon in Scorpio. And it's been quite rough for me. I think the Mercury retrograde also has something to do with it. It's brought a lot of past energies back in terms of reflecting on the direction that my life is going, and it's kind of coming in together as a message that ever since COVID started, like, I kept getting the message of people needing to walk away from their lives, from toxic people, from toxic families, jobs, the matrix. And in the beginning, it didn't really make sense to me. I didn't think that that was what was being asked of me, at least. Or I just wasn't there, or I wasn't ready for that message. And I just kept going and just followed my path of where I was already at in terms of the career that I worked really hard for, and my marriage that I married in my my 30s, my early 30s, and um, yeah, I mean, I just thought like that I have to. There must be another way of going around this, maybe, of just learning to be more compassionate myself, with regards to those that are surrounding me, even when I have been really judgmental for so many years, of myself and of others, if I'm being honest. And so, I thought I needed to be, but I've always felt like I had a really compassionate heart, and especially so it would come out when I would see people in need, or when people would come to me and open up and get really emotional. I just thought like I had a lot of that in my life, but also I also had the opposite of that. I had a lot of criticism, a lot of judgment, a lot of prejudice, a lot of blame. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. I got a phone call. Yeah, so I was saying a lot of yeah, a lot of conflicting things in my life, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of successes, a lot of failures, a lot of hardships, a lot of illness, a lot of great moments and travels and adventures. And somehow I just thought that I needed to fix it all within me, like that if my surroundings were an expression of what was going on inside of me, then I just had to balance myself on the inside. So that's what I did. And I've kind of started working like really intensely on myself and in bringing into balance at least my masculine and feminine aspects. And therefore, that did contribute to healing myself overall and allowing for even more self love and more compassion towards me, and less of that negative chatter that was constant before. A lot of anxiety, a lot of it just all kind of, yeah, it just all kind of calmed itself a lot. And I mean, there has been so much confusion in my life and doubt for so many years that I always, when I say this stuff, I don't want to sound like, oh, spirituality is going to fix it all, or if you do the energetic work, it's just going to turn your life into paradise on earth. I mean, that hasn't been my experience at all. I've still manifested a lot of like physical things as well. So, um, and I'm coming now to the understanding that perhaps there's a lot of meaning behind the things that happen to us, but sometimes we're just not ready to see them for what it is, for what they really are. And what I have come to understand now is that I no longer want to pursue this life as the way it has been going until now. I have just come to the conclusion that it doesn't satisfy me anymore. It doesn't satisfy me at a soul level. Yeah, it just feels like somebody pulled the switch and it's gone dark, and all of a sudden I don't see anything good coming from being in a safe place. I don't see any advantage in living in your comfort zone anymore. And so I watched the other night I watched Vanilla Sky, which is one of my favorite movies as an adult. And it's just one of those movies that every time I watch it, I feel like I gain more and more things from it. And this time was also true. And so when, you know, when the main character realizes that, oh my god, this is only a dream, but this dream has turned into a nightmare and I want out. And he calls for tech support. And tech support tells him, your subconscious is such a powerful thing, which is true. It runs 95% of our reality. That it can turn your dream into a nightmare if you don't control your mind. And I thought, boy, is that true. Like, this reality really can become a battlefield if you don't control your mind and if you completely block out any spiritual guidance and just allow for the ego to play its own game. And so he then tells the main character, which is Tom Cruise in the movie, he says, well, now you have a choice. And the choice is you either go back to living that dream, that lucid dream, and we can fix all the glitches now and we can make sure that your subconscious is, reprogrammed or whatever. And you just carry on living that dream with your female counterpart, the way that you've been dreaming it, which it was obviously your ideal, made from your own subconscious, from movies, from music, from whatever turned you on, and you recreated that in your lucid dream. Or you wake up and it's been 150 years, the world you will no longer recognize, the person of your dreams is dead, and but we can fix you up and your money won't last long, but you can start over. And so what's your choice? And he says, I just want to live a real life. I don't want to dream anymore. And to me it was like, I just I just want to live a real life. I don't want to live a phony life anymore. I don't want to pretend anymore that I'm happy being this person in this marriage, in this job, in these surroundings. And it's just, now I see how I've been lying to myself all of this time. And sometimes when you watch tarot and you're the cross watcher, and I would hear things like the reader say, "Oh, this person has been lying to you, and this person is a liar, and this," and I was like, "Fuck no, I'm not a liar. Why would they depict me like that?" And then of course I'd be like, "Oh, but it's a general reading, so it wasn't picking up on my energy." And then it just yeah, I just listened to some other reader, and it just became clear to me that it's not the liar because I was voluntarily lying to someone, but because I was lying to myself in making myself believe that I still wanted the same things that I wanted 15 years ago. And it's a harsh conclusion to come to, because you then know that, oh my God, like, this is gonna create such a tower moment in my life. I just know it. Like, people are gonna hate me for it. And my partner is someone who is greatly admired and respected in my family, and I know that they're just gonna tell me that I'm crazy for wanting to leave this. And maybe I am on some level, but I just feel like that fool in the tarot, that I just want to take that leap, because the land I was walking on just is no longer satisfying to me. It just doesn't turn me on anymore. And I was getting mad at myself for thinking that I couldn't find ways to motivate myself to regain my passion, when really it was just my external world telling me, you're done with this. My soul has probably been trying to get this message across for years, and I just couldn't allow myself to take in the message, because I was like, no, it's like, I can't give this up. This is too much. I can't. This is my life. This is the person that I chose to be with and to partner with. It's the financial stability, it's the career, it's the, I don't know, my parents are getting older, and I'll probably need to take care of them since my sister lives in a different city. It's just a lot of things that make sense to the logical brain and convince you that, yeah, this is what your life is, and you can't possibly want a different life, because most people don't even have your life. So how could you want something else or something more? And but of course, the soul doesn't give a shit about any of these logical reasons. The soul just wants to experience what it wants. And if I fight if I fight this impulse, then it's just gonna backfire in a massive way. And I've, yeah, hidden this long enough to myself. And so I guess it really is time to let this go and wrap it up, and start afresh. I have been praying for a new beginning for such a long time, but without realizing that I had to allow that new beginning to take place. And so I guess that this is where we're at. So I wanted to keep this short, but I guess I wasn't able to. And yeah, I know. I'm sorry that I'm a slow speaker, and I know this. I'm bilingual, so English was my first language, and then Italian is my mother tongue. But yeah, I just talk slowly in any language. So I'm sorry if, you know, yeah, this is a little bit long to listen to, but I hope the message is interesting, and it really comes from my heart. And yeah, sometimes when you listen to something, it just clicks. And so I hope that clicks for you. I just saw 1555 on the recorder, so that should be a good sign. New beginnings are here. Let's make the most of it. And happy Sunday. Thanks for dropping by. I love you, and namaste.